The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. There is some good news in Africa. People come into the continent in the guise of working. We have these nice structures, nice buildings, diplomats, and we believe that these people are here to work with us. But sometimes the things that they do to us is just so unbearable. And because our leaders don't rise up to defend us, they continue to be doing all these things. We know that the embassy is a place for diplomatic transaction, but it has turned out that these people hide in the shield of these things to be harming us. According to reports, there was a U.S. ex-embassy worker who was working in Burkina Faso. That was 2022-2023. So this man defiled our 2 minors when he was working in Burkina Faso. And when Captain Ibrahim Traore took over and he realized that things were going to change and he will be tried, he quickly ran home. Because when these people come here, they have some rights that we cannot take them. But Captain Ibrahim Traore wrote to the United States of America, and finally this man was tried and he is now in prison for life. But we are asking, why is it that when these people come onto our soil and they commit a crime, we cannot try them here? But when we get there and we commit a crime, we are to face the law over there. Even though we didn't get the justice here, but he was tried. And we expect that when these people come onto the continent and they commit crimes, anywhere that these things happen, our leaders should make sure that they fight against that, and these people should be tried. Like we saw in Niger passing a law. Any foreigner who comes into Niger and you commit a crime, you will not go back. You must be tried in Niger because you committed a crime on the soil.
U.S. Embassy employee has been sentenced to life in prison for sexually assaulting 2 minors in Burkina Faso. So this happens back in 2022, from 2022 to 2023. So this particular U.S. employee, he was in Burkina Faso. Then he sexually assaulted 2 minors, 2 young girls, little girls. And then from there on, before the authorities will react, he went back to United States, because normally this is what they do all across the world, not only in Africa. If they did something which is not good, or even let's say they unalive a human being, before authorities in that country will react, they use this diplomatic immunity, basically with the protection from their embassy itself, to go back to their country, because they just want to escape, prosecution in those particular countries. So in the case of Burkina Faso, that is what happens. This man sexually assaulted 2 young girls, minors. Then from there, immediately he went back to the United States. But thanks to the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore, of course, the authorities in Burkina Faso, the police officers, the justice system, they were able to pressure the United States government so that this man should not just be walking free, but they should charge him for sexually assaulting minors back in Africa. And that is what happens. So this man was tried in court in the United States. Of course, it would be nice that if he should be, brought back to the Burkina Faso, or sent back to Burkina Faso, of course, to face charges. But they don't do that one with their citizens anyway. So yeah, they tried him there in court in the United States, and he was sentenced to life in prison. So yeah, that is what the US government says. But we have also seen cases like this, for instance, in Kenya, where British soldiers who were stationed in Kenya, they sexually assaulted some women in Kenya. At the end of the day, nothing comes out from it till today, because Kenyan government does not work. If you have a leadership in power, those leaders, they really do not care about the people. They are compromised, and that is what the current Kenyan leadership is, William Ruto, by the way. But also in the same Kenya as well, a U.S. embassy employee also unalived a man because he was speeding with a car. And this employee from this U.S. embassy, he went back to the United States as well, and nothing comes out from it. No one was charged. That man was basically just went back to the United States, and he is completely free. And those families were still suffering. Why? Because their breadwinner, the man who provides foods for the family, is suffering. Just lost his life. Now the whole family is suffering in Kenya till today. But yeah, kudos to the government of Burkina Faso, for trying their best, their utmost best, of course, to pressure the US government to charge these men with sexually assaulting minors. And this is how it should be. So hopefully that the government of Kenya is listening, and other governments as well.
These are the things that they do because they hide behind these things. So when they come into the continent, they do all these things and then they run away. And we need to also fight against how people come in the name of working here and they turn us into something else. Sometimes they do a lot of things to us and they go scot-free because the law says when they come here and they do something wrong, we cannot do anything to them. These powers that we give to these people are what is making people come into the continent to always have access to us, do whatever they want and go back scot-free, which we the Africans don't get that. We the Africans don't get that when we get there. So we are also pleading with our leaders to make sure that they see how best they can change this law so that whoever comes onto the continent and commit a crime, the person should be dealt with. Even if you have run out, you should be brought back into the continent to be tried. And we are so excited that Captain Ibrahim Traore has been able to follow up to make sure that they get this man to face the law. These things are happening all over the continent and our leaders are watching. In Africa, we do not have a voice. There's no protection for us, even in our homes. It's the same thing when we live here, we don't have that kind of protection. But these people make sure that they pass laws to protect even their citizens when they are not even on their own land. So African leaders must come together to make sure that the African is protected, not in speech, like we've seen what Captain Ibrahim Traore has done, making it clear to the whole world that you can come into Africa, go to Burkina Faso, in the name of working or whatsoever thing that you go there for, to go and commit a crime against the people that are on the soil. And this should not be only something that one country should be fighting. It should be a collective thing that our leaders will come together to fight against. The African deserves to be treated better. If we are not safe on our continent, where else can we be safe? ECOWAS leader said, the chairperson, Julius Madabio, that they are protecting borders instead of protecting us. And we need to fight against that. It is the African that needs to fight against any injustice that is meted out onto us. If we don't fight against these things, it will continue because they say what you allow is what continues. And our leaders must make sure that the protection they give to the African isn't in speech. Sometimes our leaders look at the diplomatic relationship between the country and then the other country. So for that matter, when it comes to certain things that they need to be strong and firm to take bold decisions to protect the citizens, they first of all look at the partnership that they have with that country. But these people don't always consider that when we move out of the continent and we get there and by mistake we also find ourselves into this kind of things. Sometimes our crimes are not even as big as theirs that they come here to commit, and we are still punished over there. So we need our leaders to always make sure that this kind of partnership, whatever, should always be put aside whenever these people come into the continent to commit a crime. They must face the justice. The laws are there not for only the citizens, but even these people, when they come, they need to face the law. And that is the only time they will start respecting us in Africa. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and Burkina Faso.